I think a environment educationer is a person that discovers plants and stuff about plants, like if they're poisonous or not.
I think an environmental education is somebody who studies all of these plants and stuff.
You guys are geniuses because that is absolutely correct. I love Taylor's and Izzy's responses to an environmental educator.
Yeah, Andrea, you guys are exactly right. Environmental educators do work with plants, right? Because plants are part of our environment, a very important part of our environment. And so environmental educators have several roles, right? And some of them are included on this slide. So one of those roles is to develop ways to solve environmental problems. Another thing that they do as part of their job is to learn about our planet and the environment around us, right? Which you guys already said. And another part of that is that obviously they enjoy being outdoors and learning about the outdoors and doing activities outdoors. And another thing that they do as part of their role is that they create ways to take care of the earth, right? And to solve some of the problems that the earth has. So, can you guys guess, and you have some clues on the screen, can you guess some of the environmental issues that environmental educators are trying to solve? What are some of the issues in our environment? Izzy just put their hand up.
Like when you put trash in the ocean.
Protecting the ocean, exactly. That's one of the problems that the environment has in modern day. Jasleen?
Fires.
Fires, yeah. California has a lot of wildfires, right? The forests set on fire because it's hot and humid. Taylor?
I'm adding on to what the person that just said. Fires could hurt animals, and it's hurting animals when the fire and the smoke comes to the animal's lungs.
Exactly, right? It's going to impact animals that are not, they want to breathe nice, clean air, right? And when there's fire and there's smoke, makes it very difficult for them to breathe clean air. Exactly. Elle?
Climate change.
Climate change, right? Big takeaway here. Climate change, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about it, but every single year the earth gets a little bit warmer, only very marginally, but enough that there's real impacts on plants and animals and also humans. Allison?
Another issue is that people cut down trees.
People cut down trees, right? And trees are really important because trees are a really big source of oxygen, right? And humans breathe oxygen. We need oxygen to survive, right? Among other things, but that's one very important role of trees, right? They respire. Okay, so you guys did a great job, and I'm going to let Miss Andrea talk a little bit more. You guys already hit most of these points already, but let's talk about them.
Going to be hard to follow up that amazing hack from the Wonderkids. So you guys are absolutely right. There's many issues going on that our planet is facing. So you feel really hot, right? On a very sunny day. Feel like it's getting so hot. It feels like 100 degrees outside. Well, that might be because it's actually getting little by little warmer every single day because of climate change. Like Kelsey says, every day goes by, our temperatures go a little bit higher. And what happens to that? Why do we care? Well, you know that the top and the bottom of our Earth has the North and the South Pole, right? And they're made out of ice. And what happens when ice is left outside? It turns into water. So a lot of those environments are getting affected directly too. Like polar bears, where are they gonna live if their whole house gets melted down, or penguins? Another issue is pollution. Air, water, and the ground are getting dirty because people are having a lot of water bottles, drinking them, and throwing them into the ocean or throwing them into the trash. But where do the water bottles go? So the next issue is going to be food waste. Lift your hand up if you have ever finished your plate of food and then you threw it away because you couldn't finish all of it. You had like some little bit of food and you threw it away. And I've done it many times before, I'm not going to lie. So what happens to all that food? It gets wasted, right? We throw it away and it causes a lot of issues because a lot of that food has like wrappers when you eat like cookies or candy. And what happens to the wrappers? The animals eat it. Like a raccoon goes into your trash and it tries to eat it and it eats the plastic, right? It hurts the animal. So there's a lot of biodiversity loss. So a lot of these plants and animals have nowhere to go because there's a lot of deforestation, which is when the trees are being cut down. And that's where the animals live. That's their home. So without a tree to live in, they're homeless. They don't know where to go, where to get their food. And a lot of the predators that eat the animals, like tigers and like panthers, bears, they don't know where to get their food from because they left, right? This is very important. All these problems are very important, and they can be helped too by everyday actions by you, like recycling, helping keep your planet clean. I see Ellie's hand is up.
Like, because if trees are gone, the rest of the food chain or web will like fall down. Because trees and plants are like the first thing in the web. So if, for example, rabbits can have grass, then well, they'll die. And if the wolves can't have rabbits, the wolves will die. And then that's it.
You're absolutely right. A lot of these problems have a lot to do with each other. And trees also give us air, clean air to breathe in. Without trees, where's the air going to come from? So let's move on to the next part of today. We're going to talk about our very special guest, Miss Parker.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here today and to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you. So my name is Parker McMullen Bushman. I'm located in Denver, Colorado, and I am an environmental educator. I do a lot of different work, and the majority of my work is focused on making sure that everybody knows that the outdoors is for them, that everybody can see someone that looks like them in the outdoors, and they know that they have the ability and the right to be in outside spaces. And so one of my organizations is Ecoinclusive, and I get to work with national parks and other environmental organizations on how they can be welcoming for everybody that lives in our community. Now, another place that you can find me is on social media. A lot of times during my career, people have asked me, how did you get here? And they were wondering, how did I decide to be an environmental educator? Because I often worked at places where there weren't a whole lot of people that looked like me. And so this became really important to me because I want for everyone to be able to look at scientists and environmental educators and to know I can do that too. I can be that too. And my background was very different from those of the people that I got to work with. You see, I had never been to a national park when I was a little kid. My parents never took me camping in a tent when I was a little kid. I was much older when I experienced those things. And so because I didn't have those experiences, people might think that I wasn't outdoorsy or that I didn't care about nature, but I did. I cared very much about nature. I wrote a letter to the New York Times when I was 9 years old, and I typed this letter up. I know y'all are on computers or iPads. I typed this letter up on a typewriter, my dad's typewriter. And so you can see that I was very passionate. I said, "Dear people, we're polluting our earth. We're throwing trash in the oceans, beaches, and more. I'm just 9 years old, and I hate to think what it'll be like when I am 25. We should put trash in the litter can and burn the trash that could be burned because we're preparing the environment for our children and our children's children and so on. So please keep our environment clean." So I really loved the environment and nature, even though I didn't grow up in an area that people would traditionally think about that. And I think it's important for people to know whether or not they grew up in a city or they grew up on a farm or they grew up in the woods, wherever you grow up, you can take care of the environment.
Oh my goodness, look at all the questions. I'm pretty sure I saw Yoretzi's hand up during and she put it down. So I want to give them chance first and then everybody else can ask after. Yoretzi? No? Okay. No? All right. If you remember, you just let us know. Sophia, go ahead.
What was the biggest tree you ever saw in your life?
Ooh, the biggest tree. Man, I saw the biggest tree I've ever saw in my life this past year in 2023. I got the opportunity to go to California to do a training with California State Parks, and I got to visit the redwood trees. And they were so, so big, they just kind of dwarfed you. You feel so small when you are hanging out under one of the redwood trees. It was one of my favorite experiences.